Hey guys, this is Ray with Phone Arena, and this is part 4 of my in-depth walkthrough with the Sony Xperia Z2 smartphone here at NWC 2014. And this part is going to be dedicated to the excellent camera sensor here in the rear part of the device. So from first look, the sensor here has remained unchanged from what we had in the Xperia Z1. It is still 20 megapixel camera sensor, it still has its LED flash, it's still branded as G-Lens camera, it still uses the Exmor RS sensor with Beyond's camera, Sony's proprietary camera technology. And you know, the good thing about this sensor is that it's pretty big actually. It's 2.3 inches, which enables those pixels inside the camera to retain a pretty decent size of 1.17 microns. So what this means is that we can have very big pictures in terms of resolutions. You can have up to 20 megapixel images, and at the same time, even as you zoom in, the details and all the small the fine things on those images should remain clear and noise free. That's in theory, of course. In some not so ideal lighting situations, you know, there's gonna be noise, there's gonna be inappropriate color balance, but that's just part of the game with smartphone cameras. Now let us take a look at the camera user interface of the Xperia Z2. There we go. That's the camera UI. It's actually pretty similar. I don't know. It's probably even identical to what we had in the Z1. That's not a bad thing. It's pretty straightforward user interface here. Now, most importantly, you have your large camera shutter here. You have a video recording button, but thankfully you also have this physical two-step camera shutter key, which is a great addition really to this smartphone, to this camera phone, and it's also a very good button here. It works very well. Now, the default mode, the default shooting mode here with the Z2 is Superior Auto. What this means is that the handset will attempt to automatically select the best shooting mode for you, depending on what you're trying to frame. So for example, as I'm moving closer to this object here with the camera, you can see that it automatically sets the mode to macro. So it changes the setting. When you're shooting something wide and something that possibly has words and text on it, you can see it defaults to the document scene mode. As I hire the camera like this, you can see the mode changes once again. It actually shows a little person icon here. I'm not really sure what this is going to stand for. Probably for the fact that I'm trying to take a picture of a person or something like that. In Superior Auto mode, you can also tweak your camera settings here. There is the very useful red eye reduction, fuel flash, torch for video recording. You can switch to the front-facing where you can access some much-needed settings here, like aspect ratio that you want your photos to be in. You can set up a self-timer, you can activate smile shutter, the preview settings, face registration, tweak the video settings here. You see there's this useful steady shot function here for stabilizing of the video footage. And there's some general settings like the shutter sound, which we always like to have off. Now, where the fun starts is this button here, because it's the one that lets you change the camera modes of the Z2. Now, this is Superior Auto, but there is also manual mode, which allows you to tweak much more than what I already showed you. For example, there is the exposure value here. You can tweak that. You can have white balance preset or just the automatic setting, and there are these different scene modes in manual mode. so you can manually pick the right scene mode for you. And there are even more settings now, like image stabilizer here, and you can also change the metering option here. So a lot of settings in manual mode, and it's also the mode that lets you take those 20 megapixel photos. The good thing because of this very large sensor is that you can use lossless zoom. Here is how it works. It actually shows you where it's safe to zoom. This means that if I am to zoom up to this level, it's gonna be pretty much lossless zoom, so there is not going to be any visible loss in quality. And beyond that, it's just going to upscale those photos, and things are starting to look bad. But back to the camera settings. There are some very cool new features here, like 4K video recording, so you can just keep shooting in 1080p, or you can start taking videos in 4K resolution, which would be especially beneficial if you are, if you have a 4K TV at your place. That's very cool to be able to watch your own 4K videos there. Time shift video lets you take slow motion videos. Background defocus, it allows you to take pretty nice pictures, allowing you to kind of make the background a little bit more blurred, and kind of achieve that DSLR kind of quality for the images with the Z2. There's also the AR effect, which allows you to display dinosaurs and all that kind of cool stuff with your photos, but also now in your videos. Creative effect, these are just different types of filters, the different types of filters for your images. You can see pretty nice user interface there by Sony. Integration with Vine, with Bamboozer here, and of course you can also add additional applications and modes here by tapping this button. So there are different types of add-ons for the camera application, which is just great. So thank you guys for watching this part of my in-depth video series with the Xperia Z2. It was about the camera. I hope you enjoyed this in-depth video series. If you'd like, a more synthesized, just the basics of the Z2, go check out my basic hands-on log at phonearena.com. If not, you can find tons of other coverage about this amazing new smartphone once again at phonearena.com.